This podcast is a production of the Mississippi State University Division of Development and Alumni.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bulldog Bites podcast. This program is produced by the Mississippi State University Alumni Association, and it gives you a look at MSU alumni and friends here on campus and around the world. My name is Sherry Carr-Smith, and I'm the immediate past national president of your MSU Alumni Association. With graduation just wrapping up on campus, allow us again to say congratulations to the 3,800 new alumni crossing the stage at Humphrey Coliseum. We are so excited for them and all they've accomplished, and we hope they'll stay very connected to MSU. Before we get to today's interview, let's recap a busy few weeks here at the Alumni Association leading up to graduation. On May 2nd, countless graduating seniors made their way to the Hunter Henry Center for our biannual senior celebration to enjoy food, graduation gifts, and more to celebrate all they've accomplished. This was our first in-person event for spring celebrations since 2019, and it was evident by the strong student turnout. We are so excited that we were able to do this in person this year. The very next day, a great group of new class ring recipients were honored at the Chapel of Memories. This is a very special occasion, and in addition, Senator Josh Harkins was recognized as this semester's Ring Tradition honoree. Harkins is a 1997 MSU alumni and was recently instrumental in establishing a license plate to commemorate MSU's baseball national championship. What an exciting time for our university. Thank you, Senator Harkins, for all your help. Speaking of license plates, MSU license plates are an easy and popular way to show your proud support for MSU. Several states offer the plate, so visit alumni.msstate.edu to check out and find out if your state has one. Now let's hear about today's interview. Michael Guest is an MSU accounting grad who recently spent some time with us on an interview. We are so happy he did, and he talked a little bit about his time at MSU and how it prepared him for his career in public service. He is the congressman representing our 3rd Congressional District for Mississippi, and we appreciate his time. Enjoy the interview with Congressman Guest.
Good morning. I'm so happy to have you join us this morning, Congressman. Thanks for being with us. This is Bulldog Bites. We've been interviewing and talking to people that are Mississippi State alumni and got a great connection with Mississippi State. And we appreciate you taking the time to get with us. I know you're very busy.
Well, thank you for having me. It's always an honor to do anything associated with our university, and just I can't thank you enough for having me on.
Well, great. Well, listen, I want to know a little bit. I mean, I know you and Haley very well, but I want to know a little bit about your time and when you were at Mississippi State.
Well, I'll tell you, I grew up a Mississippi State fan. Both my parents attended Mississippi State, and so from a very young age, we were. I won't say we were mandated to go to Mississippi State, but I think it was somewhat expected. And so my parents, would take me up to Mississippi State games. We grew up listening to Jack Crystal on the radio. So when I got ready to graduate from high school, from Brandon High School in '88, it was just a very smooth transition that I was going to end up at Mississippi State. And so both my parents went to school there. I went there. My sister went there. My wife, Haley, who you mentioned, she attended Mississippi State. Her father attended Mississippi State. Her sister, I now have a son who is a junior at Mississippi State. And then I have a senior in high school who will be attending Mississippi State in the fall. And so we've got, just a love for the university on both sides of the family, on both my side and Haley's side. And Mississippi State is just a special place.
Well, I think that says a lot right there because you're right. My family was the same way and it wasn't mandated, but I wanted to be a part of that Bulldog legacy. And I think we see that in your family and your children and all that. And it's such a special time that you are there. And I know now you said that was one thing I did want to mention. You have a son that's there now, and he was recently elected to be a student body president.
That's right. Very proud of him. My oldest son, Kennedy, is now currently the Student Association president at Mississippi State. Getting involved in student government was something that he was very passionate about. So when he was on campus as a freshman, he was elected to the Student Association Senate. And then vice president his second semester of his sophomore year, and was just recently elected and sworn in as the Student Association president. And so, and he's having some great experiences there. And so when I talk to him, he's talking about people that he's meeting with, whether it be Dr. Keenum or the new men's basketball coach, both men's and women's. Meeting with Coach Leach, and he's just having some really great experiences up there. And so Haley and I could not be prouder of him and the things that he's doing.
Were you, when you were at State, were you involved in the Student Body Association?
For one semester, I was a Student Association senator. I was probably not as committed as I needed to be, Ms. Sherry, just in all honesty. I did enjoy it, but I also had other things that I was doing. And so that was not really something that I was focused on. I was a member fraternity up there and had a great experience. Served as an officer in the fraternity. And then also just met some incredible people, from all walks of life. And that's the great thing about when you're in college, particularly at Mississippi State, the people that you meet from not just in Mississippi, but really all across the South and all across the country. And so made some great friendships, have kept some of those friendships, and just so excited that Kennedy is having that same experience that I had the opportunity and Haley had the opportunity to have. And we're excited that our youngest son, Pat, will be up there. He actually was up there this weekend. And so now he's looking every opportunity he can to get to Mississippi State, and he can't wait to start school in the fall.
What was your degree in, Congressman? What did you get your degree in at State?
My degree was in accounting. And so I really didn't know what I wanted to do when I got to State. I had taken 18 years old, and you're not really thinking about what's the rest of your life going to look like. And so, but I had taken some accounting courses in high school and really enjoyed those courses. And so my thought was, hey, I'm going to start in accounting, and then if I don't like it, I can always transition to some other major. But really enjoyed accounting, and I thought that was a good foundational major within the business department over there that you could do a lot of different things with. And so ultimately, after graduating from Mississippi State, went on to Ole Miss to get my law degree. So I never practiced accounting, but it really helped prepare me for law school and the things that I would do after that. And so and so that helped me as I transitioned to law school, because I felt like that I had a good grasp on how to study and how to prepare. And so, I'll tell you that even though I never used that accounting degree, it has benefited me throughout the entirety of my life.
Well, and I think, I'm like you, I was a communication major. You don't know what you want, sometimes at 18, 19, some kids do. They go in, they know right away. I changed my major a few times, but, the reality is I think the time there and the events that you deal with and the things that you do, it's the experience that gives you that education that you're able to use as you move on.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the life skills that you learn are just as important as the education that you're going to receive in the classroom.
Oh, yeah. And what is some advice you've told your boys, as one's been there a couple of years and then you've got the other one going? What's advice that you've given them about their time at Mississippi State?
I've just told them, look, you need to enjoy every minute of it, that those 4 years pass very quickly. We think you look at, 4 years, 48 months, and you think, man, that's a lifetime. But in actuality, I think we all look back and we see how quickly that time passed. And I also told them to experience everything that you can. There are some great opportunities there, and you won't know until you try it, whether there's going to be things that you'll enjoy or not. So experience those opportunities that Mississippi State has to offer, and make sure that, you're making those friendships, because the friendships that you make in college will last a lifetime.
We're there for 4 years, but it's a part of our lives. We continue that and we share that with our children, because both my boys went to state like yours, and it's a special family tradition, I think, for sure, in a very special place. Do you get to go back a lot? I know I see you there occasionally, but you get to go back a lot?
We try to go back as often as we can, particularly during football season. I think we made maybe all but one home game this past season. Have tried to make some baseball series this year, but because my youngest son is graduating, we've had some events that have kept us here. Things such as prom and senior Sunday and things of those nature that really only happened during that senior year in high school. And so have not made as many baseball games as we would have liked, but we do love getting up there. We have a place in Starkville, and that gives us the ability to go and spend the weekend. And particularly next year, with both of our boys being up there, Kennedy being a senior and Patton being a freshman, I would imagine Haley and I will spend quite a bit of time in Starkville. And even on non-football or non-sporting events weekends, it's just a great place to go and, just to walk around campus. I mean, that's one thing Haley and I enjoy doing when we're up there is we'll get up, early on Sunday morning or on Saturday mornings and just be able to walk around the campus and see the building and just to experience that environment is something that we both thoroughly enjoy.
It is very special. You're right about that. And I know that you are in DC serving, and we appreciate your time and energy. I know a lot goes into that, but I know when I worked up there in DC, it was neat because there was quite a bit of Mississippi State alumni that are in that area. We had a very active alumni chapter that was in the DC area. Have you still seen that up there, that there's a lot of Mississippi State alumni that are working on the Hill?
Very much so, and quite a number of Mississippians, people who grew up in Mississippi, maybe people who attended State, Ole Miss. Mississippi has a large presence on Capitol Hill, and so and we'll occasionally have the Mississippians all get together and we'll eat dinner and just kind of spend some time together, kind of reminiscing about growing up and our time in Mississippi. But there are quite a number of people who are from Mississippi who are on Capitol Hill. And that's one thing that we look for as we're looking to hire people, whether that be through the intern program, students who want to come up there for the summer, the fall, the spring. And also we try to make sure when we're hiring full-time employees that if at all possible, we want them to be from Mississippi. We think that is important, that we're bringing people to Washington who know this state, who know the district, who know the needs of the district, and that's worked out extremely well. Particularly, our intern program, Mississippi State has done a great job of feeding young students into that program. Probably the majority of our interns over the last couple of years have been Mississippi State students. So between members of the university and then my son, who's up there, does a good job of recruiting some of his friends to apply for that. That has worked out extremely well.
Our Alumni Recruitment Network is an opportunity for you, our alumni, to reach out and impact the college decision of a prospective student. Through this program, we have a unique opportunity to share with students our experiences and love for Mississippi State University, while also inspiring them to join our Bulldog family. With activities like letter writing, attending college fairs, and serving as a representative at award ceremonies, you can play an integral role in strengthening our student body. I hope you'll join me in this mission to assure and strengthen our university's future. Hail State!
Well, it's such a great experience. I know my son was up there with Senator Wicker's office when he was at State. And you can't teach that. That's just an experience that you have to be up there, and you learn so much. And there's a lot going on, and it's always an exciting time. That's great that you said that about the interns. How can people, if they are interested and they're listening, how can they find out about those internships, or how can they apply?
You can go online to our website. There's a place to apply for the internships. We've already filled those for this summer, but we do have openings for this fall, next spring, and then next summer. Encourage people to apply early, particularly those that want to intern in the summer, because those positions seem to fill up very quickly. But really, those that can intern in the fall and the spring, they have the opportunity to be there for a longer period of time. They get an opportunity to learn and experience more. And we're always looking for those fall and spring interns. And we do have a program through Mississippi State where we have an intern out of our office that we have in Starkville. One of our district offices is located there at the mill. We have a program in coordination with the library. And so we have students each year who are interns there in the Starkville office, working with the Mississippi State Library on many of the congressional papers. So many of the former members of Congress have dedicated their papers to the university. Of course, G.V. Sonny Montgomery, he is most famous, but you also have Greg Harper, Chip Pickering, and others who have donated their papers. And so we've worked with the library to allow the interns through our office to be there with the library to help categorize and sometimes transcribe things that are found there in the library. And it's been a great program. So the Mississippi State program, there is college credit associated with that. So anyone that would like to apply, we would encourage them to reach out to our office. They can call our office. They can go online and apply for that. But it's both of those programs, both the DC and the Starkville intern programs, have been things that we are really proud of.
I had no idea. That's awesome, because I think any exposure that students can get, not only, like you said, it doesn't have to be in the DC area, they're still learning about that congressional program and what happens in Congress, and working with those papers, I'm sure, is very interesting.
Well, we've really been able to utilize our interns well, and you're right. I think when they come out, they have a greater appreciation and greater understanding of how the federal government works, the impact that it has on everyone's life on a daily basis, and I think they have a new appreciation just of the political world in general. So it's been very good, and we want to continue to utilize that in every way that we can.
That's awesome. Well, as we close out, I wanted to ask you, I guess you were an accounting major, then you went to law school. Did you ever at that point know that you would be in this position in Congress?
I didn't, the good Lord works in mysterious ways. He opens doors. And so my last semester in law school, I moved back home to do an internship in the district attorney's office in Rankin and Madison County. And as that internship was coming to an end, there was a young lady in our office who was going out on maternity leave. And so I was able to stay on a part-time basis to kind of help make sure that her caseload was being handled while she was out, and also studying for the bar. And so was able to pass the bar while she was out on maternity leave. When she came back, I then went to my boss at that time, John Kitchens, and said, "Hey, I would like a full-time job with you." And he said, "Look, I'd love to hire you, but I don't have an open position." And so I told him, or I asked him, I said, "If I can find some funding, would you use that funding to allow me to stay on full-time?" And he told me that he would. And so I began my very brief lobbying career. I lobbied the local Rankin County Board of Supervisors for some additional funding. I was able to get that. Now, I wasn't the best lobbyist. They only were agreed to raise, I think, the amount of the budget by $24,000, so $2,000 a month. But at that time, I was able to scrape by on that amount, and really thought, Sherry, that I would stay in the DA's office my entire life. Really loved what I did and loved working with law enforcement. with our judicial, our court systems,
Right.
loved going in the courtroom, advocating on behalf of victims, and really felt like that was going to be my career path, that I would just be a lifelong prosecutor. But when Greg Harper, who was a friend of mine, who previously served in this position, retired, it created an opportunity that I had never really thought about. And so Haley and I talked about it, and we prayed about it, and kind of got a piece that this was the direction that we were being led, and have been fortunate now to serve 2 terms. And so it's such an honor to represent, the people of Mississippi in our nation's capital for Haley and I. I mean, Mississippi is just such a special place. And, if you look around, I mean, this is where we grew up. This is where our children are growing up. This is home for us. And to have that honor is truly amazing. And so our goal each and every day when we get up is to make sure that we're representing the people of Mississippi in a manner that they'll be proud when ultimately our day is done and somebody else is in this office. And so we want to continue to do that. And look, the fact that we get to represent our Mississippi State University that is in the 3rd district. And so not only am I an alumni of the university, but I get to advocate on behalf of university needs in Washington, D.C., get to work with Dr. Keenum and his incredible staff. That's something special. And so, and I hope that the university knows that they've got an alumni who's in Washington, D.C., not only fighting for Mississippi, but fighting for the needs of our university.
Well, we are very grateful for your time today, Congressman Guest, but also that you're such an ambassador for not only our state, which we're lucky to have you, but also for the university. And we just thank you again for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me, and look forward to coming back on again sometime soon.
Sounds good. Good to see you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Bye-bye.